Here.
Alderperson Close.
Here.
Alderperson Decker.
Here.
Alderperson Heidemann.
Here.
Alderperson LaFave.
Here.
Alderperson Menzer.
Here.
Alderperson Mitchell.
Here.
Alderperson Perella. Here. Alderperson Rust.
Present.
There are 10 present.
All right, thank you. If everyone could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Alder Decker, what is your privilege on the minutes from our last meeting?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the minutes from the 6th regular council meeting held on June 16th, 2025.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of approval of the minutes state aye.
Aye.
Any objection? Minutes are approved. All right, next is confirmation of appointments. Deputy City Attorney.
Thank you.
You're on.
I'm on? Okay, thanks. Kay Hill to be considered for appointment to the Board of the Housing Authority as resident member.
Thank you. Alder Decker.
I move to confirm.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Thank you. All those in favor of confirmation, please state aye.
Aye.
Any objections? All right, that is approved. All right, Deputy City Clerk, anyone for public forum this evening?
Yes, we have 5 tonight.
All right.
The first is Suzanne Grace.
All right. Suzanne, are you here? All right, come on up. And for folks speaking tonight, please state your name, address, and then the item you were speaking on.
My name is Suzanne Grace. My husband Don and my name, my address. I live at 3411 North 6th Street in Sheboygan, and we're speaking to proposal agenda item number 19.
Thank you. And then you'll have 5 minutes.
Okay, there we go. Just want to say that we enjoy biking, and we thank SCC for their outstanding job promoting today's agenda, item number 19, for the last several months, and also to the board members who were here at the last meeting. It was unbelievable to see you voice your deliberations, be aware of input from both sides, weigh the pros and cons, and remain respectful to everyone that had their opinions and so forth. And then to have everybody vote yes and allow the project to come before the full board tonight was really wonderful to see. So thank you very much. I ask all the council members that are here tonight to vote yes in favor of Evergreen Park proposal agenda item number 19, which is supported by many individuals and businesses in the area. In support of that request, I would like to speak specifically with regards to safety for this multi-use trail. A multi-use trail is implicitly a shared use trail. The term implies that bikers and hikers of all skills will meet while they're out there. Shared use trails are designed specifically in a way that allow both hiker and biker to have an enjoyable experience. To tell you the truth, I've never been on a bike trail like this. I understand they're getting very popular across America, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. Understanding shared use, though, means you will likely meet somebody on your walk or ride. So when we expect to see other bikers and hikers, we can all maintain a degree of awareness and look out for each other, pass each other in a friendly way, respectful, and continue on and have an enjoyable day. SCC is ensured to encourage as many people to try the trail, enjoy it safely. Signage will be posted at the trailhead or wherever they decide to put it throughout the trail, and it will be helpful in making sure users understand the trail etiquette and expectations to promote the safest environment possible. What's really exciting about it is that they've also put in the Evergreen Bike Park, which will teach the children, of Sheboygan and the county, respect for the trails and how to use all the equipment that they're going to encounter on the bike trails. The bike playground is a great opportunity to introduce children to trail riding and promote safety from a young age. Maintenance of the trail is also a big factor in safety and something we can all participate in a responsible way, pick up debris and communicate if something needs attention and so forth. And then they are always seeking more volunteers to assist. In fact, there is a trail cleanup Wednesday afternoon, this Wednesday in Evergreen, so if you want to, you're welcome to come out and help. It'll be very fun. Trail design is really the major thing, and I'm learning more about it, but it can actually factor in bike safety. The safety features can be incorporated into a trail by design. For example, the designers can anticipate the distance needed for riders based on their ride speed, given various terrain and feature trails. So they can say, well, how much time will it take them to stop considering all these various variables. This allows the designers to consider sight lines for both riders and hikers so they can have safe encounters. And I wasn't that aware of all that the design takes care of and incorporates, but it's pretty cool, and when you start reading about it, it's really exciting. So anyway, design does take a lot of time and effort, and it's very important to get started on it as soon as possible, so you know where I'm going with this. And since they have secured the funds, I'm suggesting we move forward with this safety as a priority in this, with the respected design team that's already kind of been chosen. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Great. City Clerk, next one.
The second person is Jason Bemis.
And then if you could state your name, address, and then the item you're speaking to, and then you'll have 5 minutes.
Okay. My name is Jason Bemis. I live at 36 North Point Drive in Sheboygan, and I'm here to speak on item 19. Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to provide public comment. I'm in favor of adopting item 19. I am here because I would like to personally donate and fundraise to help Sheboygan County Cycling raise funds to build a concept plan for the city's consideration and approval. I would like to thank those in city government that have spent time researching and understanding the current state of the park and how these trail improvements will benefit the residents and visitors to our bike-friendly city. I would also like to share that I've spent considerable time biking on shared-use trails, and I have not encountered a situation where a walker and I could not navigate. In fact, I feel we both share a mutual respect for each other's activity and that we are enjoying the outdoors. I've also been impressed with the conscientious leadership and volunteers of Sheboygan County Cycling, and am very confident they are here for biking enthusiasts, walkers, and most importantly, the children of the next generation of cycling. Finally, I'd like to share that I grew up in Black River, and my single-speed Huffy bike was how I made fond memories on the trails in the woods. I'm looking forward to seeing children get off their phones and on a bike to enjoy the hard work this organization is willing to engage in for the benefit of all. Thank you.
Thank you. City Clerk, next person.
The third person is Nick Sable.
Name, address, item, and then you'll have 5 minutes.
All right. My name is Nick Sabo. I live at 624 Mayflower Avenue, and I'm speaking on item number 19, the Evergreen Park proposal. I've been a Sheboygan resident for 7 years. Some of you may remember I recently spoke at the Public Works meeting about the proposed improvements to Evergreen Park. Thank you for the opportunity to speak again. I believe these updates are not just worthwhile, but essential. My connection to Evergreen Park goes back over 20 years before I moved here. I would drive to Sheboygan regularly to mountain bike the trails. Today, I live minutes away from the park and visit not just as a rider, but as a parent of 2 young kids. For our family, Evergreen is where we teach our children to stay active, care for the environment, and enjoy the outdoors. One part of the SCC proposal I'm especially excited about is the addition of youth skill areas in sections C1 and C2, and also beginner-friendly trails. These are exactly what our trail system is missing. My son started riding at the age of 3, but we had to drive several hours to find safe, well-designed trails for him to learn. Not every family can do that. Creating these opportunities here means more kids can build confidence and skills close to home. These improvements also support people who hike, run, or simply want a peaceful walk in nature. A redesigned trail system would offer a more intuitive, welcoming experience for users of all ages and abilities. My family also loves how the plan brings amenities together. Placing the bike playground near the Shaw Family Playground is a smart, family-friendly decision. As a parent with kids of different ages, having nearby options makes it easier to enjoy the park as a family. I also want to emphasize conservation. Many of the existing trails are worn, unmarked, and weren't designed to current trail building standards. The SCC plan addresses that with a lower mileage, purpose-built system that improves safety, sustainability, while reducing environmental impact. This benefits all users and the park itself for years to come. Finally, this isn't just about biking. The plan supports a safe, inclusive, multi-use trail system for walkers, runners, families, everyone. It strikes the right balance between recreation, conservation, and community access. This is the kind of long-term investment that enhances the quality of life and makes Sheboygan a better place to live and raise a family. I strongly support this plan and hope you will too. Thank you for your time and continued commitment to our public spaces.
Thank you. Deputy City Clerk, next person.
The fourth person is Faye Urainer.
I got it.
All right.
Good evening, Faye Urainer, 3122 North 7th Street, Sheboygan, in support of the latest Evergreen Park proposal, item number 19 on the agenda. I've been a Sheboyganite for nearly 40 years now. Governmentally, I've served 5 years on the Sheboygan County Board and currently serve on the City of Sheboygan Board of Review. I'm a proud member of Sheboygan County Cycling Organization, and I'd like to just share some of the facts and actions because I feel actions speak louder than words, and SCC's actions show their commitment. So SCC is a 501(c)(3) nonprofit incorporated in February of 22. Evergreen trails, we know, are in serious need of repair, and SCC volunteers have worked on them for years. In 2023, SCC adopted Evergreen Park through the city's Adopt a Park program, taking responsibility for trail maintenance and development. Later in 2023, SCC invested nearly $40,000 of its own funds in a professional trail study and concept plan by IMBA Trail Solutions, a national leader, gold star in trail design. And lastly, no tax dollars have been used or requested for this program. The only public funding anticipated is a state grant process through the Public Works departments. Few more of SCC's broader efforts and actions. Again, actions speak louder than words at times. The group has raised over $250,000 in private funds. They've donated over 300 volunteer hours of Evergreen Trail cleanup, hosted bike playgrounds for kids about 6 times per year in the last few years. Some of those have been at Evergreen Park. They've supported the training of members in trail building, trail sustainability, trail work, and engaged hundreds of supporters and dozens of local businesses in this effort to promote good trails for our community. And we can all agree that Evergreen Park is a shared treasure in our community. The proposed improvements will make the park safer, more accessible, more sustainable for all users, bikers, walkers, runners, and families. And this just isn't about trails. It's about creating joy, promoting healthy, active kids, and connecting our kids all ages and abilities to the outdoors. Trail access reduces stress, builds independence, nurtures a lifelong appreciation of nature and the care thereof. Who can't support that? As one expert shared, bikes don't disturb animals, people do. Whatever the activity, respect for nature is key. This effort also supports environmental stewardship. We know kids who grow up enjoying nature are more likely to protect it. Maybe you don't use Evergreen Park, but this isn't about what's in it for me, the WIFM. It's about what's best for our Sheboygan community. And let me close with 2 short quotes from local voices from Sheboygan Letter to the Editor. Jess Yude wrote, "These changes will improve safety and usability for all bikers, runners, walkers by clearly marking and widening trails and protecting the ecosystem from erosion. While I'm not a mountain biker yet," he wrote, "I'm excited for what this plan means for my kids and our family's outdoor life." Jesse also mentioned he lives in the neighborhood of Evergreen Park. Austin Crisp added in a letter to the editor, "Bike trails have existed in Evergreen Park for 30 years. Riders will be there with or without improvements, but it would be a shame to pass up the funding that's been raised to upgrade the park that clearly needs attention." SCC volunteers are not just dreaming, they are doing. Actions speak louder than words. This Wednesday at 4 p.m., local trail leaders are hosting a trail care event. More information is available on SCC website. I brought along flyers for the event. So let's support the volunteers, the vision, the future of Evergreen Park, the legacy of that park for generations to come. Please vote yes on the proposal 19.
Thank you, Faye. City Clerk?
The final person is Sandy Fessler.
Sandra Fessler, 2103 Creekside Court, Sheboygan, item 19.
Then you'll have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Hello, I'm an elementary school teacher of 31 years. Currently, I teach at James Madison Elementary in Sheboygan. I'm not a cyclist, but I'm here to share with you a teacher's perspective on the Evergreen Park proposal. We're currently in a youth mental health crisis. Kids are suffering from anxiety, stress, depression, suicidal thoughts, and more. We have more counselors and social workers at our schools than ever before. Unfortunately, with waiting lists, it's not enough. What else can we do? Well, there's a strong and growing body of research informing us of the positive effects nature exposure has on mental health for all ages. Nature exposure boosts mood, reduces stress, improves concentration, memory, cognitive function, and has a calming effect on youth with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. The proposed Evergreen Park project will attract youth to the natural environment of Evergreen Park, which supports their mental well-being. In order to get kids and teens into nature, we need to make it interesting and fun. This is exactly what the multi-use paths will do, while at the same time caring for the evergreen ecosystem, its plants, and animals. We're also in a childhood obesity epidemic. Children are experiencing type 2 diabetes, kidney disease, high blood pressure, and more at younger ages than we've ever seen in history. Consequently, our school office dispenses medications to various students all day long. The Evergreen Project isn't a singular solution, of course, but a step in the right direction to inspire our youth to get outside and get moving in a safe place parents can trust, with no cost and without a prescription. Each year, I do everything possible to convince parents to enroll their children in community activities like sports teams, gymnastics classes, and swimming lessons because I see the positive impact, both academically and overall health of students who do participate. The major barriers parents struggle with are cost and an inability to get their kids to a class at the specified day and time. So most of the time, it doesn't work out for low-income children to participate in activities. But the Evergreen proposal is a bright spot, something that is cost-free and not schedule-bound, that both kids and their parents can experience. I don't know about you, but when I walk through the park, it looks pretty vacant. Maybe an adult or two here and there. Most often, I don't see kids or teens. They, too, are important members of our community. Evergreen needs to be a place for them as well. You might say, well, nobody is holding them back. But let's remember that kids want to go places that are fun and interesting. The Evergreen proposal would do just that. It's clear that the Evergreen Park proposal would not only protect its ecosystem and animals, it can also uplift the mental and physical health of its surrounding community. It's not an or, as in choose ecosystem or trails. It's an and. Choose ecosystem and trails with this proposal. Our youth, ages 4 to 18, are important community members who don't have much voice in these matters. Please keep them in mind as you proceed with your discussions. It's up to us to make decisions that help them reach their potential in this great city of Sheboygan. Thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes our public forum for this evening. Next, we'll do mayor's announcements. Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for choosing to spend your summer evenings right here at City Hall. We always love to bring folks in here. So a few items for this evening. The Sheboygan Fire Department will be hosting its annual Citizen Fire Academy this fall. Participants will be given an opportunity to learn firsthand about the Sheboygan Fire Department and their operations. This will be a series of lectures and fun hands-on training, similar practices that we use for our firefighters as well. The Citizens Academy is a 7-week program that are held on Wednesdays beginning September 3rd and ending in October 15th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. All classes are held at the Sheboygan Fire Department headquarters, Station 3 on North 25th Street. Instruction is provided by our staff and our firefighters from a wide variety of different topics, from overview and history of the department, the self-contained breathing apparatus, search and rescue, fire ground operations, fire investigations and inspection, home safety, fire extinguishers, technical rescues, incident command, mutual aid, box alarm, and so much more. And you get to rip apart a car. Right, Chief? Yeah, that's the best part. So if you're interested, applications are still accepted and will be due on Monday, July 14th. So check out the City of Sheboygan Fire Department's website and social media for more information to get involved. You have to be 16 or older to participate as well. So with that, obviously it's July, so everyone is thinking about Christmas as well. So I'm going to invite my friends from Making Spirits Bright in the Food Bank, and I'm going to turn it over to our good friend of ours, Mike Vanderstein, and Dave Hoffman as well, and they'll say a few words this evening as well. So, Mike, it's yours.
Thank you.
You betcha.
Mayor Sorensen, thanks so much for giving us a spot on this council agenda tonight. As you said, I'm Mike Vanderstein, but I'm serving as president of the Making Spirits Bright Board of Directors. Making Spirits Bright is the drive-through holiday light show at Evergreen Park, which is open from the day after Thanksgiving through New Year's Eve. And we're here tonight to thank the City Council for 13 years of partnership in staging this event at Evergreen Park and J.C. Park Quarry View Center. This project would not be possible without the use of these city park facilities and the great working relationship that we've had with the Public Works Department and the Park Department. Our event is twofold. Number one, to collect food pantry items donated by the community for the Sheboygan Food Bank, and to provide an exciting free holiday family event during the Christmas season. And it's amazing how this has become part of the way that most of the families in this community celebrate Christmas. Making Spirits Bright is a 13-year project of the 3 Rotary Clubs of Sheboygan County, the Sheboygan Noon Club, the Sheboygan Early Bird Club, and the Plymouth Club. Last year's project received 117,324 pounds of food donations from 89,166 guests who drove through Evergreen Park in 23,615 vehicles. In addition, 2,994 residents participated in the holiday run walk event that opens up the season for us. And there were 1,132 volunteers who worked 14,665 hours in a multitude of roles to stage and manage this event. This year, lighted displays reached a new high in the number of lights, with a total of 1,120,000 lights on our displays in Evergreen Park. Next, Making Spirits Bright Project Chairman Dave Hoffman will make a presentation to Jody Zakowski of the Sheboygan Food Bank. This donation is made possible by the generous donations from our drive-through guests and is directed to the Food for Thought program of the Sheboygan County Food Bank. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, Mike.
So I get the fun job tonight of handing out the big bucks, but I need your help. I need your input. I like to do this every now and then. I'm going to survey and see what the room is thinking. So over the past 13 years, any of you who have ever volunteered at or donated to Making Spirits Bright, please raise your hand. Well, I think you can see that this truly is a community project. Making Spirits Bright is enjoyed by everybody in the town, and we do get some tourism in as well. So, on behalf of the Sheboygan County Rotary Clubs, our sponsors, and our volunteers and donors, as you, we are very proud to present this check for $50,000 to the Sheboygan County Food Bank. Jody.
Well, I was not planning on speaking today at all, but this is wonderful. Thank you. We've had a wonderful partnership with Making Spirits Bright for 13 years and many more. The Food for Thought for Kids program is a program that the Sheboygan County Food Bank puts on during the school year, of course. We give out about 600 bags every week to children in need for the weekend. These are the kids, the kids that really need it the most, the kids that go home on Friday and come back to school on Monday and haven't eaten all weekend. So it's a very huge program. A lot of kids involved, a lot of people involved, and this will go really far, and we really, really appreciate it. So thank you very much.
All right. We'll jump on into our consent agenda, items 8 through 14. Alder Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to receive and file all ROs, receive all RCs, and adopt all resolutions and ordinances.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any discussion for any of the items on the consent agenda? Alder Bellinger.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the appropriate city official just kind of explain what this is, the quiet title action. So,
what item are you referring to?
Item 14. All right. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Item 14, Deputy City Attorney.
Thank you. This is an action to clarify ownership of a parcel of property within the city of Sheboygan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other items for discussion on the consent agenda? All right, seeing no more cues, this will be a roll call vote.
Alderperson Menzer.
Aye.
There are 10 ayes.
All right, those items are approved. Next, we have reports of officers, RO number 332526 from the Plan Commission, to whom was referred direct referral resolution number 502526 by Alderperson Close, approving the 2025-2029 consolidated plan and one-year action plan for housing and community development, utilizing community development block grants, CDBG funds through the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. Alder Close.
I move to receive the RO and adopt the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Under discussion, Alder Rust.
Hi. Good evening. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I was wondering if Director Zeiner could give us a little guidance for the current federal legislation that's passed and how, in the cuts to the CDGB, and how this will affect the city and moving forward from now on.
All right. Planning and Development Director.
Hello. So most recently, the Big Beautiful Bill had passed. That bill cuts all community development block grant funding. That's that CDBG funding. Moving forward, we will have funding for this next calendar year, but beyond that, we don't know if we will have funds. We most likely will not. Within the consolidated plan, and I do know that Kristen Fish-Peterson is with us virtually. She wrote the plan. We really look to use those funds to help the LMI folks, which is low to moderate in income. That could be in forms of helping job creation, to making sure that there's safe parks and streets and lighting and things of that nature. So unfortunately, we don't know what will happen to those federal dollars, but just like how I said, we will have it for one more calendar year.
Follow-up? Alder Rust?
So with all that funding for, like, let's say streetlights and stuff like that, do we have plans lined up for projects like that after this year already in place? And like, if that, let's say we lose the funding, we won't be able to do those projects full stop?
So we do have funding for the one more calendar year, and I'm sure the finance director and Kristen Fish can speak to what the long-term plan is. The funds that we will have can cover those projects that are listed within that consolidated plan. If we were to move beyond that and think of new projects and things of that nature, we won't necessarily have funding for that.
All right. Thank you. City Administrator?
Yeah, and just to follow up on that, so those projects that would still need to happen, we would have to look at trying to find alternative revenue sources and/or looking at general fund proceeds to look at funding those to continue.
Alder Perla.
Yes, thank you. So just for clarification, I actually had the same type of question. Isn't the non-defense discretionary budget going to be further discussed later by Congress in September? So is there still the possibility that non-discretionary funds are allocated to CDBG? Or for sure we know already that there will be no CDBG at all? Because I know that there will be further discussion on the discretionary budget, so I don't know if that is part of it or not. It should be.
Based on the legislation now, we can assume that there will not be CDBG funding. I think all of us can acknowledge that the federal government right now is fluid, so I cannot speak to what will or will not happen.
Okay, and then I have, may I?
Yep.
First of all, thank you for the report because it's very nice and complete. I found it very informative. One comment I want to offer is that it's very clear, and I appreciate that it was reiterated a few times in the analysis of this report, that in addition to the market housing and affordable housing in general, there is a huge and increasing need for transitional houses. However, as you know, with the limited funds, there is not really any investment in transitional houses from the city of Sheboygan, with the exception of some help to the emergency housing, such as shelter, or the few beds available at the abode. Is there any plan, and I know it is not part of this item, although it is part of this matter, is there any plans, specific plans for transitional houses that you, even if you cannot share details of, but is there any plans on, since it is one item that came up very strong, as I expected, as a need?
City Administrator? So that is an ongoing discussion. As we learned as part of the bill, a lot of our Section 8 housing vouchers will be funded for one more year, and that will be going away as well. So the issue you just brought up is one of many issues that there's a lot of uncertainty. We understand that there's a plan for some of that funding to go to the state, and we'll have to see how the state decides to manage it. So at this time, there's not really a answer to that question. Transitional housing is needing. Obviously, subsidized housing is needed substantially, and
that funding is going away as a part of this bill as well. So we need to understand how the state is going to manage it before we can even begin trying to address that issue.
Follow-up?
Yes, please. Yeah, and actually, I apologize. It was kind of not a real question. It was more a posing the point that, or highlighting the point that this is a big issue which I think we should try to push to the forefront. We know we are working very hard as a city to address the housing shortage on all levels. However, the transitional housing, I think, is something that we will need as a city, as a governing body, to address more closely. Again, I have few more questions, but I don't want to take too much time, so I will definitively go back to you, Director Zainert, with those. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this item? All right, seeing none, this will be a roll call vote.
There are 10 ayes.
All right, that's approved. All right, next, item 18 under resolutions. Resolution number 522526 by Elders Rust and LaFave, authorizing the appropriate city officials to complete and sign Part G of Wisconsin Department of Revenue Form AB-105 submitted by Three Sheeps Brewing Company. Alder Rust.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I ask to suspend the rules.
Any objections to suspension? Hearing none. Alder Rust, please proceed.
I move to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Under discussion, Alder Bellinger.
Could I please get an explanation for the public and those watching why we're suspending the rules for this? I realize it is part of the document in the packet, but just for clarification for everybody else, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Deputy City Attorney.
Thank you. We are asking for a suspension of the rules to allow for immediate passage to give the applicant time to work with the state of Wisconsin to get properly licensed in time for the event.
Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion on this item? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
There are 10 ayes.
All right, that's approved. Item 17 will be referred to the Transit Commission. Item 18, RC number 2322425 by the Public Works Committee, to whom was referred resolution number 1562425 by Alder Decker, adopting the Evergreen Park Trail Assessment and Trail Improvement Concept Plan. Alder Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to receive the RC and file that resolution.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Under discussion on this item. Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
There are 10 ayes.
All right, that's approved. Item 19, RC number 692526 by Public Works Committee, to whom was referred to direct referral resolution number 442526 by Alders Decker and Rust, approving the June 2025 Evergreen Trail Improvement Proposal. Alder Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to receive the RC and adopt the resolution.
Second. Moved and seconded. Under discussion. Alder Perella.
So I just want to just make a couple of comments. One is that, well, I'm pleased about the process, as many other people said. I'm glad that there were adjustments made. I looked at the process, watched the process very closely, and I was very pleased with the way it was conducted. So I'm not saying anything that you have not heard already. And I'm glad about those two items that have been removed, such as the asphalt pump truck and one of the advanced skills, and the advanced skills. I do think, though, that there are a couple of more elements that that constituents kept reaching out on, which I hope it will be taken into consideration in future plans. One of them also mentioned already in the past about the restoration goals and also the relocation of the children training skills or playground. Also to facilitate or encourage the use of the main parking lots compared to the parking lot that is closer to the Shaw family playground. With that said, though, I am going to approve the project as it is today. I want to also add briefly a personal comment that for what it is worth it. I'm a hiker, and I still think that hikers and bikers do not share very well, especially because they serve a different experience, and perhaps they share for the biker's perspective as an experience, it is well shared. From the hiker perspective, is a little bit less shared because it is a different type of experience. But as I said, it's just my 2 cents. It's not worth it even to think about it. But I just want to put it out there because I think that one other element that could be improved in future is to consider one of the trails, the half mile, or perhaps the one that is right now the flow trail for 7.75 miles. Maybe one of them could be considered not preferred hikers, but only hikers. And again, this is just a little 2 cents. I have though a question, and it is the Common Council going to approve any phase in the future of this plan? Does the Common Council need to approve future phases or future final plans versus the one right now that is a concept plan?
The short answer is going to be yes for me, and then I'll turn it over to the attorney for a longer answer.
The short answer is good too.
Yeah.
Budget expenses would need to be approved by council, whether that is handled during the annual budget cycle or as a standalone matter with a budget amendment down the line, depending on timing, that would need to be approved. Certain activities would not need to be approved if they are within the discretionary authority of the department, relating to staff time, priorities of work, et cetera. But beyond that, it sounds like SCC has done a lot of the fundraising on their own for further improvements to the park. So if there's no city input involved, then approval would be limited to those areas where the city would need to provide input. So I guess I would suggest that if you have specific questions about the scope of that project and implementation timing, to work with the Director of Public Works on that to get a better idea.
And I think another item to just add on that would be, and I'm looking at Mr. Curlin, would be a final design for this project as well. Is that correct? Anyone from the cycling group too?
Yeah, if there is a final design that's laying the framework for all of the improvements, then we would expect that would be brought forward. But I'm not sure if another design is intended as part of this. This is a concept design plan and trail improvement assessment. It's kind of a big package right now to lay that foundation. So I don't know if there's another design planned to come down the line.
Is it a yes or no?
Yes, there's another design plan.
All right, perfect. Joe, anything else to add? All right, Alder Prella, any follow-up?
Yes, so just to clarify, there will be a final plan which will come before the Common Council.
Correct.
Very good.
And Public Works, the committee.
Thank you so much.
You betcha. All right, Alder Bellinger.
Thank you, Mayor. I enthusiastically support this, and I want to commend both sides of this issue. They've handled any kind of communications with me, and I've heard from other alders very professionally, and they've been very courteous with the passion that surrounds this issue. So thank you for doing that. And a lot of good points were brought out by both sides and compromises were made. So I think this is a good workaround and a good solution. At the last Public Works Committee, I was very critical of the state of disrepair that Evergreen Park is in since the storm almost 3 years ago now. And it was kind of brought to my attention after the meeting that I was advocating for a blank check from the council to go ahead and approve that. That is not what I'm doing, but I still stand by my statements. And instead, what I would like to do is get from the Director of Public Works and Joe to provide the Public Works Department with an assessment of all the parks and the needs and the costs associated with those, so that we have kind of a listing of where everything is at within our parks and the needs and the costs that are associated with it, so that we can prioritize and fund those moving forward. I've been on the Public Works Committee for years and years, and I have not seen something like that. We are now doing that with all the buildings that the city owns. We're doing an assessment for each one of those to assess the state of the building, the roof, the HVAC, that type of thing, to budget future costs for replacement. So I think we should do that with the parks as well. And again, I go to a lot of parks. Last few times I've been in Evergreen Park, fortunately, it's been for Making Spirits Bright, and it's been dark. So I haven't seen the extent of the damage that was done there until I took a tour recently and saw for myself how bad it really is. So again, for a litany of reasons, I support this, and I do support having Evergreen Park cleaned up and have it taken care of. And I would look forward to a report from Joe or Travis as to what the state of the parks are. So thank you.
Thank you, Alder Bellinger. Director Peterson, any comments or response?
Sure. If you're mentioning Alder Bellinger about the parks facilities, the buildings themselves, that is being looked at as a part of the assessment that's going on right now. As far as the grounds, that would be something we'd have to look at. But the buildings themselves, the components within those buildings are being assessed in conjunction with the citywide facilities.
Right, but the grounds obviously are important too, and right. This is an extreme case, granted, I guess I would like to see that, so thank you.
All right. Yep. Thank you, Alder Bellinger. Alder Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. I just, again, want to thank both groups that came forward with this. I mean, with the SCC guys, all the everything you guys have done to accommodate the other groups and things like that, the things you've worked through. With the Public Works Committee meeting, I was impressed with all the people that came forward. I was super impressed. And that's what this is all about, really. There was a teenage girl that came forward, and just her passion for this kind of thing like this. And again, it's like the speaker said, this this is about getting kids out and doing things other than being on their phones and being on their tablets and everything like that. And this is really it is a great thing to have. And I think this is going to be a great asset for our community, and I think this is going to be something to look forward to for future generations.
Thank you, Alder Decker. Any other discussion on this item? Alder Mitchell.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't think it'll come as a surprise that I'm not exactly a fan of the concept plan. I don't believe that I've supported one that has come before us so far. And the main reason for that has always been that if this body can sit here and say, okay, well, yes, but we're not going to do that or that for sure. I never liked the idea that we were taking an official action to at least move the process forward. So without belaboring the point at this point, I'm like to commend everybody from the community who came out and shared their feedback, and SCC for being receptive to that feedback and removing at least the one, maybe even the two major items. The pump track and advanced skills course, I think, was still on the, if I heard a really good argument, there's still a possibility of coming around to it, but I wasn't sure what that argument would be. So I'd like to thank everybody for all the time and effort that has gone into this, all of the focus from members of the community on what's going to work best for Sheboyganites at large. This is the first time that I'm going to be supporting a concept plan based on all that. Thank you.
Thank you, Alder Mitchell. Alder Menzer.
Again, echoing both groups for their respect and kindness and passion. I too will be supporting this, and I'm excited not only because it's in my district, and far be it for me to say it's my park, it's Sheboygan's park, it's all of our park, and I think especially for the next generation. I think of my 3 kids and what this could mean for them and all the children, especially as Mr. Bemis said, give them a healthy alternative to growing up. And so, and also I will say real briefly about the specific location of the children's playground area. I think putting it next to the Shaw playground is a perfect location. Yes, could there be issues with that parking lot? Maybe, but I'm willing to take that risk for the overall benefit that this whole thing will, I believe, bring about. So, and again, being in my district, I will personally oversee some of the things that are going on there. So I hope to partner and come alongside with SCC to be the eyes and ears of not only my district, but the community. So thank you.
All right, thank you. On that, the cues have been exhausted. Will the clerk call the roll?
Alderperson Perella.
Yes.
There are 10 ayes.
All right, that is approved unanimously. Next, we have item 20, RC number 752526 by the Finance and Personnel Committee, to whom was referred direct referral charter ordinance number 22526 by Alders Decker and Mitchell, amending the charter of the City of Sheboygan related to the matter of the selection and tenure of the city attorney. Alder Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to adopt the charter ordinance.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Under discussion. All right, Alder Mitchell.
Thank you, Mayor. Just, I guess, a little background on this one. It may look somewhat familiar to most people sitting up here. Just based on how everything came through before, that entire package of documents, I know there was some confusion about the charter ordinance and what change it was proposing versus the job description, and then those changes to the general code of ordinances. Since the charter ordinance document itself was so singularly focused, and I believe in the discussions that we've had on this, both previously at committee and then at council a couple times as well, there wasn't much debate about just that singular change it makes from elected to appointed. I wanted to bring this back through due to that 60-day period that will start if we pass it, where all the other details and those other documents can be referred back out and discussed in greater detail and, shaped in whatever way this body really wants to see them. Hopefully that provides a little bit of background context. As nobody buzzed in, I realized I probably did not need to, but nonetheless, thank you for the time.
Thank you, Alder Mitchell. Alder Decker.
Just wanted to, I just wanted to kind of clarify, I think, as far as some people have asked about it, the job description and things like that will be brought forward later on. We will bring it back as probably to Finance and Personnel, I'm guessing. So if anyone is interested in that, that's how that will come forward.
Thank you, Alder Decker. Alder Perella.
Nothing to add.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
There are 10 ayes.
All right, that item is approved. Item 21, RC number 762526 by the Finance and Personnel Committee, to whom was referred direct referral general ordinance number 92526 by Alder Mitchell Imprella, amending section 2-469 of the Sheboygan Municipal Code as to facilitate clear guidelines to payroll regarding the municipal judge salary. Alder Mitchell.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to receive the RC and adopt the ordinance.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Under discussion. Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Alderperson Perella.
Yeah.
There are 10 ayes.
All right, that item is approved. Item 22, RC number 722526 by the Finance and Personnel Committee, to whom was referred direct referral resolution number 482526 by Alder Mitchell Imprella, authorizing an amendment to the 2025 budget for the purchase of 834 North Water Street from Blue Moon Studios. Alder Mitchell.
Move to receive the RC and adopt the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Under discussion. Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
There are 9 ayes and 1 nay.
All right, that is approved. We've exhausted the agenda. Alder Decker, what is your privilege?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned at 6:55. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.